Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this beautiful multicolor bag. The width of the bag is 25 centimeter and the height here is 19 centimeter. So if this looks like what you're interested in, then you should keep on watching. For this tutorial you need a yarn. Here I'm using the Obi ribbon and each of them was 100 gram. That is, if you are using one color you need about 800 gram. Alternatively, you can also use a t-shirt yarn or a polyester yarn. This one is 6mm, so you can as well use 6mm t-shirt yarn or polyester yarn or any bag yarn, as long as you just follow the mathematics and the measurement. And then you need a 6.0mm hook and a 4.5mm hook, and then you need a lobster claw hook. These two here are for the back strap and this one here is optional, is for the tassel. So in case you are not making tassel for your own back, this one is not needed. And then you need a magnetic clasp, this type, and then you need an O-ring. This is the medium size of it, and then you also need a chain. So you're going to start by making a slip knot, and then you place your hook, and then you make 43 chains. After doing that, we're going to be working on this back loop here. So you're going to skip this first chain stitch here and you go to the second one and you make a slip stitch. You go to the next one, you make a slip stitch, and to the next one you make a slip stitch. So you're just going to be making slip stitches in all these chain stitches until you get to the end. So when you reach this point, you're supposed to be having 42 slip stitches in total. Now to begin the next row, you're going to chain one, you turn your work, and on this point here you're just going to make a slip stitch, and on the next one a slip stitch, and on the next one a slip stitch, and on the next one again you make a slip stitch. So that's how you're going to be making slip stitches until you get to the ending here. So now we've come to the end of the second row. To begin the third row, you're just going to chain one, you turn your work, and on this point here you're going to make a slip stitch. You go to the next point, you make a slip stitch. You go to the next stitch again, you make a slip stitch. So that's how you are going to continue until you get to the end. You are going to make a total of 6 rows. This is row 1, this is row 2, so we'll be needing 6 rows in total for this particular piece. You're going to repeat all what we've been doing and I'll meet you at the 6th row. I've made a total of 6 rows, and when you get to this point here, you're just going to chain one and then you cut out your yarn. After doing that, you're just going to weave in ends. So you're going to repeat the exact same thing for this other side. So I'm done weaving in ends, and so far this is how it's looking. The length is about 34 centimeter and the width is 5 centimeter. So you're going to repeat the same process on 4 more pieces. So now we are done with the vertical part of the back. Now for the horizontal part, you're just going to be making 73 chains. You skip the first chain and then you make a total of 72 slip stitches. The length is about 48 centimeter and the width is basically the same thing, 5 centimeter. Another thing you should notice is that when you are done with the horizontal part, you don't have to like cut out the ends. So I'll be showing you what you do with the ends. You're going to make a total of 3 pieces for the horizontal part, and as you can see I'm using the bright colors to make the horizontal part. If you notice, I made 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 rows for the horizontal part. Why? Because I used a different yarn, and the yarn is a bit thinner, and the type of yarn I used for the vertical parts was a bit thicker. So when I did 6 rows, this is where it stopped. It was not up to 5 centimeter, and I needed everything to be 5 centimeter. And it is also important that your work and width must be the same thing in this pattern of back. If not, it's not going to like bring out the beauty. So I wanted everything to be 5 centimeter. That is why I increased the row. But if you are using the same type of yarn, you're not going to have this problem. But this was a little challenge I faced, and I thought of telling you in case you are also working with multiple color or different color of yarn. So now to proceed further, we're going to be joining the two like ends together. Now for the joining, I'm going to be using my 4.5mm hook, and you should note that this work has two parts, the front and then the back. You're going to know the front by looking at this chain stitch space here, where it is facing you like a weaving, that is the front, and where it's like this is the back. So you're not going to like take note of this other side. It is the chain stitch you take note of. Where it's facing you like a weaving, that is where I term as the front of the work. So now you're going to fold front to front like this, and you're just going to take one of the yarns here, and you just watch what I'm doing. So now when you turn your work, this is how the front is looking. So you're going to repeat the exact same process for the remaining two horizontal pieces. So now the next thing you're going to do is that you're going to arrange the vertical strips the way you want them to be, like the color arrangement. We make sure that the front side is facing you. That is the place I described as the front. We make sure that it's facing you, and then after doing that, you're going to take your horizontal strip and you're going to arrange it like this, just as seen. You make sure that this joining part falls at the center here, so that this, when as we progress, you're going to understand why, so that this one covers this joining part. So now you're going to arrange it, then stretch it. You're going to place it like this. You're going to take this first one here, you place it like this. This second one will go under, this third one will come to the front, and this one will go under, and this one will come to the front. So this is basically the arrangement for this first horizontal strip. So after getting the arrangement, I'll show you how you'll be joining it. So now you're going to remove this one aside. We all know how the arrangement is going to look like. You're going to place it here. You place your hook at the edge here, and at one stitch here, any random stitch here, and then you're going to make a chain one. You go to that same space and you make a slip stitch. And then you go to the next point, you make a slip stitch, and to the next stitch here you make a slip stitch. That's 2. You go to the next point, you make a slip stitch. That's 3. You go to the next point and to the next stitch here, and you make a slip stitch. That's 4. You go to the next one here and to the next one here, you make a slip stitch. That's 5. You go to the next point here, anywhere your hook just enters, you make a slip stitch. That's 6. Now you're going to make a chain 1. You skip a stitch here, and then you're going to take this one and you place under, just as we did before, and then you're going to place your hook on this braid here, that's on this stitch here. You go to the next stitch, anywhere your hook enters, you make a slip stitch. You go to the next stitch here and to the next stitch, this is the second one, you make a slip stitch, and to the next stitch here and to the next stitch here, you make a slip stitch. This is the third one, and the next one, this is the fourth one, this is the 5th, and then this is the 6th one. You're going to chain 1, you skip a stitch, and then you're going to take this one forward, just like I explained. You skip a stitch, and on this one here, you're going to make a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip this joining part, and then you go to the first chain stitch here where you started your chain. You bring out that part. I think this is it. This is 4. This is 5, and this is 6. You chain 1, and this one now is going to go under, and then you repeat everything I did at this point, and then for this one here is going to come up. So you repeat everything, and I'll meet you at this point here. So when you get to this point here, you're going to chain 1 and you drop your yarn. We're going to come back to it later. So now you're going to take your second horizontal strip and you're going to fold it like this. This time you're not going to place the joining part on the center, you are going to place it by the side here, because it will be this one here that will cover it. So now you're going to place this one here like this, and then you're going to take this one here, you use it and cover it. You arrange it just as seen in the video. And then for this one here, you're going to put it inside the circle. Call it inside the circle, trying to make sure that that joining does not show. And then for this one, you're going to just place it out, and then for this one, you're going to place it inside. It's just like a puzzle. Forgot to stretch this stuff. Okay, so yeah, that's just basically the arrangement for this row. Push it inside, really inside. You're going to take the third strip and you're going to basically do it the way you did this one. You place the strip in the center, and then for this one here, it's just going to be on top of it like this, and then this one will come inside, and then this one will now stay on top, just like the first one. And then this one will come inside, and then this one will stay on top. Yeah, so you push it in. When you get to this point, you're going to turn your work like this. You're going to place this glue like this, because the previous one was outside, so you're going to take it inside, and then this one will stay up, and then you take this one inside. It's just like a puzzle, just like I explained. For this one was inside, so now it's going to come outside, and then this one will go inside, and then this one will come outside. Then for this one to be just like this one, to go inside, come outside, and then go inside. Now for this one, it's going to come outside, then go inside, and then come outside. Then for this one, let me stretch this out. And then for this one, it's going to go inside and come outside, and then go inside. So that's basically it. So now we're going to continue what we were doing before. So now you're going to skip this first stitch here, and we've already chained one, so you're going to skip this first stitch here, and on this stitch you're going to make a slip stitch. Remember to take this one along, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, the last one. So now you're going to chain one, you skip a stitch, you take this one along, and on this point here you place your hook, and on this, remember I skipped a stitch here, so here will be where I'll be placing my hook. You make a slip stitch, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anywhere your hook just enter back, place your hook. You're going to chain one, and then this one is going to go inside. Don't know why it came outside. Yep, it's going inside. This one is coming outside here, and then you're going to repeat the same process. That is, you're going to make 6 slip stitches on this point, joining the 2 of them together, and then you're going to repeat that until you get to this point, and I'll meet you there. So now when you get to this point, you're going to chain one, and then you're going to skip this stitch here. You go directly to the first slip stitch space here, you make a slip stitch. You're going to place your stitch marker on that first slip stitch. Now this indicates the starting of a new row. So now in all the slip stitches, you're going to be making more slip stitches. No more, you're going to be making slip stitches in each of these slip stitches. I don't even know, slip stitches on top of the slip stitches. Ouch. Okay, so you're going to make slip stitches even on the chain one space. You're going to make a slip stitch. So you're just going to be slip stitching, you're just going to be slip stitching, slip stitching, slip stitching until you get to this point. So when you get to this point, you remove your stitch marker. I'm just using this stitch marker for you people's sake, not like when you get to this point, you know that you are beginning another row. So how you know how many rows you are making, you just count here. This is row 1, this is row 2. just like there, it's going to reflect on the other side. So you're going to do as many row of slip stitches you want. You just check it in your own eye. You check out which one matches your aesthetic, whether you should even stop. You can even stop here if you like, but me, I don't know how many I'm going to make, but I'm going to make like about 5 or 6 slip stitches upward to just give it that finishing touch. So now I've done a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 row, and so far this is how it's looking. So if you check very well, this was where we started our row increase. So now we're going to get to that point. So here you're going to just cut out your yarn and you pull your yarn up like this. You're going to skip one stitch here and you're going to place your hook on the next stitch, and you pull your yarn out like this. And then at the back of this stitch here, this one here, you're going to place your hook, and then you pull up your yarn like this in order to have a smooth finishing. So as you can see, all of them is looking almost the same thing. So now the next thing you're going to do is to place your darning needle and then you weave in ends. So now you're going to take your magnetic clasp and you're going to place it at the center of your bag. The center should always be in the center of this one here. You know, this was the center, so it should always be in the center of this one. And then you hide the tips of your thread. Then we start sewing. For this one, you're going to take it backwards like this. And then you come out of that same hole again, and you be careful for it to come out very neatly in the front. So now I'm done with this point here. I'm going to the next point. So I'm going to come out of just randomly the center here, and then I'll come out of this hole here. So I'm basically going to repeat what I was doing here on this other point and on the rest. When you are done with that, you're going to do the same thing here to this other point, and I'll meet you at the end. So now I'm done joining the magnetic lock, and so far this is how it's looking. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add my accessories. So you're going to take your O-rings and you're going to place it like this. So you can hold it as a crossbody bag, or you can like wear it as a shoulder bag, something like this. So I think I like it as a shoulder bag because it's more conducive for me. So this is how it's looking as a shoulder bag. So for the crocheted handle, I made 96 chain, I skipped one chain, and I made 95 slip stitches. So now when you are making your chain, you're just going to measure how long or how short you want the length to be. An important thing to note is that you're going to leave a long length of yarn for you to use to attach your lobster claw hook to it. And I just go back and forth. So you're going to repeat the same thing for the other hand there. I can also choose to use the crocheted handle, so anyone that fits your vibe, you can as well use it. And then for the lining of the back, you can check my video right there. You would have an idea on how to line this back if you want the back to be lined. And that brings us to the end of this tutorial, and I really hope you found this helpful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out on more content to come. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.